shooting a demo video or a short commercial or whatever is simple, all right? So I have this thing, it's called the gimbal. We talked about that in the course. And I'm using a teleprompter app. So I don't have to remember my lines, and I can look right to the camera and I can deliver all the lines like I've memorized them. And there's no way I've memorized them because I'm not that good. But I can look right there and I can read it, okay? So the goal is I will film all my stand-up, do the whole script, and then I'll shoot all the B-roll, and I'll show you what that looks like next. And then when I'm cutting away from me, of course, I have all my audio that I capture right here now. So when we're filming something like this, we want, there's background music going on. That will come down. We'll make sure that we don't hear that, and then I'll deliver the lines. So here we go. You already know that Billy Briggs does Neapolitan and New Haven pizza pretty darn well. You know we do amazing wings. But did you know that we create some fine deli sandwiches? Billy Briggs takes great pride in what we serve. That's why we only use the premium deli meats and cheeses from Boar's Head. They've been providing home-style flavor in every single bite since 1905. So, when you're craving a handcrafted creation, come to Billy Briggs and order the stromboli or the Roma and Mozz, or maybe the meatball sandwich or the Italian grinder sandwich is what your taste buds are telling you. Open for lunch and dinner. Billy Briggs, serving up some damn fine, delicious deli sandwiches. All right, so in our video, I do a stand-up, I talk about the different sandwiches, and so now I'm gonna get the B-roll or the cutaway of the sandwiches. And because again, it's motion picture, everything you wanna do wants to be moving a little bit and some interesting shots. So here's what I'll do. I'll start above, I press record, I wait a second, I get settled, and then I do a movement. I usually do it a couple times. Right above, that's cool. And a little movement. You see, sometimes I use the gimbal, sometimes I don't. All right, and then I'll take, and I'll just want to set this up in an interesting way. And here, I'll do another movement. Instead of doing that same movement, because it's a different sandwich, I'm gonna get a slightly different type of movement. Again, I get myself steady so I can make a nice move. I'll get a wide shot and I'll get a close-up too. Really see what that sandwich is doing in there. That looks nice. And I'll go back and forth just a little bit and I'll decide in the edit what looks best. And next, I'm going to teach you how to edit these things. All right, so the first thing we do to edit is we open up the software. Down at the bottom, press plus, add media. I'm going to add an album. I created an album with all these images for this shoot. I'll name it Billy Briggs. Great family-run restaurant. It's a franchise. They do a great job. I actually play a lot of gigs there too, music. Anyway, so this is my first clip, and I know that I talk about the pizza and the wings, and so I'll find the wings and the pizza clip, and I'll add those as well. All right, so I add those. It adds it to the back of the timeline. I will find just the right seconds worth. You already know that Billy Briggs does Neapolitan and New Haven pizza pretty darn well. So this is where they're talking about the pizza, and that's exactly where I'll add the pizza shot. You already know that Billy Briggs does Neapolitan and New Haven pizza pretty darn well. Now I added that clip on the above track, and I turned off the audio. You see, I just kind of take off that audio up there, the little audio icon. Now I'm going to add the wings clip, and I bring it up to the track above, and I'll find just the right couple of seconds worth, and I'll drag it exactly where it needs to be. New Haven pizza pretty darn well. You know we do amazing wings. And I'll trim it right there, just so it's exactly right. Did you know that we create some fine deli sandwiches? Billy amazing wings. But did you know that we create some? All right, so now we're gonna add the deli sandwiches because this is where we begin talking about the deli sandwiches. And so now I'll select that clip and it opens up this window. This is a trim window where I can trim it before I actually bring it into the timeline. Trim it down, you see there? And then I'll trim it down the other way. I just grab the end of it and just with my thumb move it in. And I'll press the check mark, then I press the add, and it uploads. You already know that Billy Briggs does Neapolitan and New Haven pizza pretty darn well. You know we do amazing wings. But did you know that we create some? So right where I start talking about the fine deli sandwiches, I drag it down. Fine deli sandwiches. Billy Briggs takes great pride in what we serve. That's why we only use premium deli meats and cheeses from Boar's Head. So here I start talking about Boar's Head. So earlier what I did is went to the website, got a screen grab of the Boar's Head logo, and I saved it. And now I'm gonna go ahead and select it, bring it into the project, and I'm gonna drag it right where it needs to be. Fine deli sandwiches. Billy Briggs takes great pride in what we serve. That's why we only use premium deli meats and cheeses from Boar's. And that's where I start talking about Boar's Head, so that's where I drag it. Boar's Head. They've been providing home-style flavors in every single bite since 1905. You know, but it's too big. So I select that clip, and when I select it, around the edges you see a little border is created. And with my thumbs on either end, I just make it smaller. And then I will drag it to the place it needs to be. Down there in the lower third is a great place for that. And then I want to add a little transition. I want it to kind of come in and then go out. So I add an effect, and that you see I chose that effect where it will slide in and slide out. That's why we only use premium deli meats and cheeses from Boar's Head. They've been providing home-style flavors in every single bite since 1905. So when you're craving a handcrafted creation, come to Billy Briggs and order the stromboli or the Roma and Mozz, or maybe the meatball sandwich or the Italian grinder sandwich is what your taste buds are telling you. Open for lunch and dinner. Billy Briggs, serving up some damn fine, delicious deli sandwiches. So I'm just gonna go to the end and I'm gonna trim that end and cut off the excess there and just make it tighter. Come to Billy Briggs and order the stromboli. Okay, now I'm talking about what these sandwiches are. So I add that media. I go back to the albums, down to the Billy Briggs album, and I'm gonna find all the shots pertaining to the sandwiches, and I'm gonna add them. See, sometimes I'll select the clip and it'll open up this trim window, and I can't see it. It's just kind of a bug that happens sometimes. So I'll go back and I'll select the entire clip. I'll add it. Again, it'll sometimes, you know, depending on how long the clip is, it might take a few seconds for it to initiate and upload. As you see, it's kind of waiting. Up, there it goes. And now it's uploaded again down at the bottom. So this is that stromboli sandwich, and I just want to find just the right couple seconds. So I'll trim what I don't need. I trim it. I select what I don't want. I delete it. And then I'll take that clip and I'll bring it to the upper there. You see that? And sometimes you'll see me, I will make the timeline bigger and smaller just to make it easier for me. And I'll drag that clip right where it needs to be. Talking about that stromboli sandwich. Let's watch. Stromboli or the Roma. So I trim it just precisely. And then the next thing I'm talking about here is the Roma and Mozz. So I will go back. I will go back to the album. It always opens up the last album that you were just on. And I'll go to the trim clip and I try to find just the right amount of seconds, just the right piece to make sure that I'm not wasting any time. And so this is, you know, searching for the clip. Those are all the wrong clips. And I've got to find the stromboli, the Roma and Mozz. There it is. That's a nice shot of the Roma and Mats. And again, I just want to find just the right piece. So I'll open up that trim window. I'll trim it right there. I'll add it. Again, it adds it to the end of the timeline, and so I have to drag it into place. So you'll see me often making the timeline bigger and smaller. It just makes it easier to move things around. And Mats, or the Roman. I got to make sure that these clips are placed exactly where they need to be. The Roma and Mats, or maybe the meatball. All right, so now I got the Roma and Mats edited. I talk about the meatball. So again, I go back. I'm looking for the meatball. Back to my album, finding the meatball sandwich. There it is. Open up the trim window. I find just the right amount of seconds that I need and just the right movement that I want to make this as precise as possible. So let's see here. I don't know if I like that. That's decent. I think I want to use the other clip. I'm looking at that, and that's decent. That's decent. But I think I want to make use the made sandwich clip. Yeah, so I'm going to find the clip that I shot of the sandwich on the tray, already made, not being made. There it is. That's nice. So, I have options. I took a wide shot, back and forth a little bit, just, there's a close-up. So I just want to find just the right amount of seconds. I'll trim what I don't want. I'll cut what I don't want out. I'll trim it, and then I'll drag it exactly where it needs to be. Let's see if I can place it just properly. Maybe the meatball sandwich or the Italian grinder sandwich is what your grinder sandwich, meatball sandwich or the Italian grinder. All right, so now I'm going to talk about a fourth sandwich, and so I cut right there, and I'm going to find a clip where all the sandwiches are in one shot, just to kind of show the whole deal right there. So I searched for it back into my album. Where is that at? And I'll look, and then I'll find it. And what I'll do is I'll select it. And as you know, it'll always end up on the back of the timeline. So there it is. I add it. I look at that trim window. There's a nice movement. Just trying to find the right movement. You see, I'm trimming just where I want it to be. I add it. There it goes. It adds. I drag it. And I'm not totally precise when I'm in that trim window. I'll be precise here. Or the Italian grinder sandwich is what your taste buds are telling you. Open for lunch and dinner. Billy Bricks, serving up some damn fine, delicious deli sandwiches. And I realize that end is a little too long, so I will drag it in. And now I know I want to add a clip of the building. So I'll find the building clip. All right, there it is. I add it. And it drags it down to the timeline. And I'll do my trimming in the timeline, just trying to find just exactly where it needs to be. For lunch and dinner, Billy Bricks. Serving up some damn fine, delicious deli sandwiches. As always, I've got to trim that clip to be as precise as possible. That's what I'm doing here. I get rid of what I don't want. I drag it to where it needs to be. And I will slice it. Oh, and by the way, this clip has audio. I want to turn the audio off. So I go to audio and I mute that audio in that clip so I don't hear it anymore. And of course, just trimming it so it's perfect. Deleting what I don't want. Looking good, looking good.
Now, I know that I want to have some music on this. So what I do is I will add music. The little plus sign down there in blue, I'll add audio. And here's a bunch of tracks. And I'm going to find just the right track. I scroll through these tracks and I'll listen. Definitely not. Absolutely not. None of these are working. So I'm going to go up to the top and I'm going to name a genre. So I'm going to put rock. Let's see what happens. So as you see, it takes a little doing to find just the right piece of music, but I'll find one. I don't know, that's kind of cool, but it's not working for this. But I'll have to remember this particular clip for another project somewhere along the line. And that's what happens. We'll hear things that might work for something else later. Not being too heavy. We'll find what's the right one. Moving forward, moving forward. Again, sometimes we hear pieces of music that might work for something else, and I'll try to remember those, but I haven't found what I need yet. Moving on, moving on. Yeah, I know this particular clip, so I'll use this one. This one seems like it would work out nicely. I added, again, it kind of adds down to the back of the timeline. I've got to bring it into place. It's going to be loud, so I have to select it, select the audio, and bring down the audio track so it's not so loud.
You already know that Billy Briggs does.
I'm constantly having to make the timeline bigger and smaller so it makes it easier for me to be working with. And I'm constantly having to watch the project in context to make sure it's flows.
You already know that Billy Briggs does Neapolitan and New Haven pizza pretty darn well. You know we do amazing wings. But did you know that we create some fine deli sandwiches? Billy Briggs takes great pride in what we serve. That's why we only use premium deli meats and cheeses from Boar's Head. They've been providing home-style flavors in every single bite since 1905. So, when you're craving a handcrafted creation, come to Billy Briggs and order the Stromboli or the Roma and Mozz, or maybe the meatball sandwich or the Italian grinder sandwich is what your taste buds are telling you. Open for lunch and dinner. Billy Briggs, serving up some damn fine, delicious deli sandwiches.
So that's a good place to end it. So I will cut that audio and I'll just try to make the ending exactly proper, and I'll have to add a little transition there, and that's a fade to black. So I'll go to my effects. Actually, the one thing I need to do first is I want to add a little title, and that title is just the address. So I know that there's, in the titles here, there's one that deals with a location, like the little location icon. It's not in this one, so then I'll go back and find it in the titles. These are the overlays. And I go up to titles. And so now here I'm looking for that particular title. Scrolling. It's there. As you see, there's a ton of titles you can add that can serve. Oh, there it is. I'll add it. I'll select it. I'll add it. So I will select that. I'll move it where it needs to be first. And then I'll go ahead and select the words. And this opens up. And I'll delete it. A little window opens up. I'll delete it. I'll put in the address, downtown St. Charles. Okay, not so bad. I'll drag that where it wants to be. I'll make sure that I have my transitions out of the project. So I'll fade to black the music. It's fade to black, and that's what I'll do. Now I can export it. So I'll export this video, and it'll save to my pictures album. And from there, I can upload it to wherever it needs to be uploaded. Now it's exporting. It's becoming its own thing. We did it. Well done. Let's take a look at this project in its entirety now. You already know that Billy Briggs does Neapolitan pizza and New Haven pizza pretty darn well. You know that we do amazing wings. But did you know that we create some fine deli sandwiches? Billy Briggs takes great pride in what we serve. That's why we only use the premium deli meats and cheeses from Boar's Head. They've been providing home-style flavors in every single bite since 1905. So, when you're craving a handcrafted creation, come to Billy Briggs and order the Stromboli or the Roma and Mozz. Or maybe it's the meatball sub or the Italian grinder that your taste buds are telling you. Open for lunch and dinner. Billy Briggs, serving up some damn fine, delicious deli sandwiches.